just wait for a few people to jump on. Hello, good morning. Hi guys. Hi. So today, one second. Today I thought that maybe we could do a class, a series of movements and things that that could prepare us for wheel pose. Now at the end, we may or may not do wheel pose, depending on your body and how you're feeling. But I thought it would be interesting to kind of break it down and look at the various parts that could lead you to a nice, strong wheel pose. Hello, good morning, guys. So, yeah, let's get started. So this is kind of my approach to wheel pose. So it might not be what you're accustomed to in some other yoga classes. So let's get started. So let's start standing up. Just standing up comfortably. We'll take a few moments just to find our breath. So just a comfortable stance, arms down by your sides, close your eyes. And slow down the breathing. And just notice what the breath feels like as it enters and exits the body. Notice your feet connecting to the earth, to your mat, where your weight is in your feet. And just take a quick scan of the body from the toes all the way up to the head. Just kind of notice how the body's feeling. We'll take a few breaths in and out through the nose, really slowing things down. So I'm actually going to count these breaths. So get rid of all your air and take an inhale slowly for 3, for 2, 1, and then slowly exhale through the nose for 3, 2, 1, and then again, slow inhale for 3, 2, 1, and slow exhale for 3, 2, 1. Let's do one more like that. Inhaling for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 3, 2, and 1. So I'd like to keep your eyes closed if you feel comfortable with them being closed. And we're just going to gently rock your weight into your feet, into your toes, and then into your heel. So just kind of rocking forward and back and seeing how far you can go but keeping your balance. Like moving the whole body like a tower. So everything's kind of moving as one. And then maybe circling that tower a few times in one direction and noticing how your feet have to adjust to keep you standing, keep you from falling over. And then going in the other direction, the tower is moving, making a circle. And then noticing how not just the feet but the legs have to engage in the core, even in a subtle movement like this. And then find your way to center. Feel free to open your eyes. For the next little bit, we're going to just move. I'm going to call this the wiggle. And you can keep your eyes closed. Maybe you want to open your eyes, but just start with a body part. Let's start with the head, for instance, and just make some circles through the head. And I'm going to give you guys the freedom to kind of move any body part that you'd like. So if you'd like to go to the shoulders, to the wrists, to the ankles, one at a time or all of them at the same time. Just kind of move through the body, find those parts that maybe feel a little bit stiff. If this is morning time for you, I know some people join in from other parts and it's not morning, but if it is morning for you and you're feeling a little bit stiff when you just wake up feeling, just getting into those areas and just moving around really. There's no right or wrong. If you'd like your movement to be really simple, just like circling one body part, feel free to do that. So you're just going to do that for another like minute or so. I personally like big movements, but maybe you like small movements. There's no right or wrong. So this is just kind of like a pre-warm-up even. Just to get the joints moving without thinking too much and just to get into our bodies. Nice for 5. Keep moving, don't think. For 4, there's no right or wrong. For 3. For 2. And 1. Good. So let's just come to standing on the feet. And let's inhale the arms overhead. You're going to turn the palms to face each other and really think of the triceps wanting to face directly forward. You're going to shrug the shoulders up to the ears and think of squeezing the biceps in towards the earlobes. Good. From here, notice if the rib cage wants to kind of push forward. Hug the rib cage down. Slight tuck of the pelvis so the tailbone's pointing down. And breathe here. 5. Squeezing arms in towards the earlobes. 4. Rib cage down. 3. Reaching up through the fingertips. 2. And 1. Release the arms down by your sides. Take a little shoulder roll. And we'll do that again. Inhale, arms overhead. So the triceps are pointing forward. So we have that external rotation of the arm, which is going to be important in a pose like wheel. Shoulder blades, shoulders up towards the earlobes, in towards the earlobes as well. Up and in, rib cage down, tailbone down, reaching up. So you're going to feel the core tighten as you kind of put your body in that shape. 5, 4, 3, reaching up, 2, and 1. Release the arms, shake them out. Good. From here, slight bend in the knees. Reach the right arm back, left arm forward, looking back, so coming into a twist. And really reaching forward and back like you're trying to turn your chest to face the side. Come back to center, other side, twist. Pelvis stays facing front. Chest to the side, reaching, reaching, reaching. Coming to center, inhale, open to twist. Exhale, center. Inhale, twist. Reach, 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 reach. Like you're trying to pull yourself apart. And come back to center. Let's roll down, chin to chest. Take a moment over the legs, soft bend in the knees. Relax the shoulders, head, neck. Maybe take a gentle sway side to side. Nice. So from here, hands maybe to the floor, maybe to the shins, maybe to the thighs, depending on your hamstring flexibility. We're going to inhale, lengthen the spine, so almost doing like a cat and cow in this position. Exhale, round through the spine, chin to chest. Inhale, lengthen. So for those of you who've taken my class before, you've probably done this. I like this little movement. And we round. And extend, long spine, and round. Let's do 2 more. Long spine, inhale. Exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. And you're going to hold here for a second. Really think of reaching the rib cage away from the pelvis. 3, 2, and fold forward over the legs. Let's bend the left knee, right hand to the ceiling. If you need something under that left hand, maybe you have a block or a few books or even maybe a little table or chair, and twist. Nice, and come back to center. Twist to the other side. Right knee bends. Inhale. Left arm up. Exhale, fold. Let's bend the knees. Nice deep knee bend. Arms reach overhead if you can. Exhale, fold forward and stretch the knees and think of pulling yourself closer to the legs. Inhale, bend as low as you can, keeping your heels on the ground, and reach the arms in line with the ears. Again, think of squeezing in towards the ears and fold forward. One more, bend, reach, squeeze the arms in towards the ears and fold forward. Good. Plant the hands and come down onto the hands and knees. So bring one knee down, the other knee down. And take a moment here just to push in through the hands, press down through the knees, and find a nice long spine in your tabletop. See if you can feel the engagement through the core here. We're going to take the right arm forward. So for this one, we're going to try and keep everything still and reach that right arm forward. The thumb reaches up to the ceiling. Let me just inch back so you can see my thumb. So the thumb is reaching up to the ceiling. Again, that external rotation. And then you're going to make a big circle. Keep the chest facing the mat. A big circle of that arm up towards the ceiling and back. And then reverse that. Back, up towards the ceiling and forward. And again, reach it up and back. Chest stays facing the floor. Back and forward. Let's lower the right hand and set it for the left. Reach the left arm forward. Thumb, again, facing the ceiling, that external rotation. Reach the arm up and back. Try to keep the chest still. Nothing moves but the arm. Back and forward. Up and back. Back. Make it as big as possible. And forward. And lower the left hand to the mat. Good. Now coming to the legs, let's extend the right leg back, but bend the right knee so the foot is up towards the ceiling. Again, pushing the floor away, nothing moves. We're going to do a simple pulse. So reaching that heel to the ceiling, we pulse up for 10, 9, feeling the glutes, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold there. And we're going to open the knee out to the side. But I want you to keep the heel on top of the knee. So you're keeping internal rotation on that right hip. And then come back to the knee directly behind you. And then out to the right. Heel stays over the knee and bring it behind you. Out to the right. Bring it behind you. 2 more. To the right. You might feel a little pinching in the outside of that right hip. That's those muscles working. 1 more. Look back. Make sure the knee is over, the heel is over the knee. Back to center and lower the right knee. Left. Heel up to the ceiling, knee down. Pulsing here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it there. Open the knee out to the left. Keep the heel over the knee. You can look back. Make sure that you're not turning out that knee, but you're keeping the knee down, heel up, and then bring it back behind you. Out to the left. Bring it back behind you. And out. Bring it behind you. 2 more. Nice. Last one. Good. Lower the left knee. Let's take a little child's pose. Hips to the heels. Reach the arms forward. And let's keep the arms, the elbows engaged so the arms lift up, the elbows lift up off the mat. And take a few steady breaths and really breathe into the upper back area. Nice. So easing your way out of your child's pose, coming back up onto the hands and knees. Nice. We're going to inhale the right arm up to the ceiling, twisting to the right, keeping that left shoulder over the left wrist. Nothing moves. And then exhale, thread that right arm under the left, twist and reach to the left like you're trying to grab something over to your left side. Inhale, up and out to the right. Exhale, down and out to the left. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, thread it under. Last one, inhale, reach up. Exhale, thread it under and bring your shoulder down to the mat. You can either reach the left arm forward in front of you or bring it behind your back. Either one. Again, steady breath. Slowing down the breath and think of expanding out into your side body here. And let's come back up onto our hands and knees. And that's set up for the other side. Inhale the left arm high. We'll take a moment here, reaching up to the ceiling. Shoulder over right wrist. Pressing the floor away, reaching up. Notice if the hips want to shift to the left as well, pull them back to center. And then thread under to the right, reach like you're trying to grab something over there. Inhale, up and out to the left. Exhale, down and out to the right. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, thread under and reach. Last one, inhale, reach up. Exhale, thread it under and bring the shoulder down to the mat. Right arm forward or behind the back. And breathe. Really slowing down that exhale. Nice. And gently releasing. So for our wheel pose, we often think that we need a lot of back flexibility. And back flexibility is fine, but we often neglect the fact that we also need hip extension, we also need range of motion in our shoulders as well, and some extension in our thoracic spine, our upper back. And so we always think of just what's happening in the lower back, and then we get back pain because we're not focusing on some of the other areas that are the parts that are actually going to bring strength to the pose. So let's come onto our hands and knees and step back and make our way into a downward facing dog. So you're going to pedal the feet, just kind of find a little warmth in your downward dog. And then we're going to walk the feet in just a little bit. The knees can be bent. This isn't so much about the hamstring flexibility, because what we're going to do here is we're going to do some push-ups in our downward dog. When you press up into wheel, we have to have strength to press up, right? And that's overhead strength. So the easiest way to get some overhead strength work done in a yoga class is to do some push-ups in a downward dog type shape. So walk your hands a little bit wider than your shoulders, maybe as wide as your mat. And then you're going to let the elbows open out to the sides and think of bringing your forehead between your thumbs. Now they're not going to actually touch the mat, but think of aiming in that direction and press up. And then again. Nice. So we're going to do 4 more. 4. Bending. 3. 2. 1. And let's lower. Take a child's pose. So building a little bit of overhead strength, overhead pushing strength. Now we're going to come back into our downward dog again with the feet walked in a little bit. Hands about as wide as the mat. And if you felt like having the elbows out to the side was challenging enough, repeat that with the elbows out to the side. If that felt super easy, think of the elbows coming back a little bit, maybe kind of diagonally back. So we're going to repeat. We're going to do 6 push-ups, elbows either out to the side if that was super challenging. If that was super easy, elbows coming back. And if the elbows are coming back, think of the forehead now reaching a little bit more towards between the index fingers, yeah? So from here we do 6. So when you're ready, bending the elbows, 6, 5. I got a phone call. So hopefully you finished your 6 reps. If you haven't, finish your 6 reps and then take a child's pose. And rest. Nice. So we're going to do one more round of that, coming back into your downward dog. Feet walked in a little bit. Hands as wide as the mat, taking your variation, either elbows out to the sides or elbows coming back towards you. Doing 5 or 6 if you can make that much, doing as much as you can. Up to 6. Nice. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and take another child's pose. Actually, let's lay on our belly. Coming straight onto the belly. Head to one side and rest. Taking a few moments to really slow down your breath. Turn your head to the other side, continuing with your slow breath in and out through the nose. Nice. So you're going to bring your head to neutral, reach the arms forward. I'm not sure if you guys can see my hands, but you want the thumbs facing up to the ceiling, so the palms are almost facing each other, but the arms are going to be at kind of a Y diagonal out to the side. Nose down. And I want you to really engage through the legs, tops of the feet down onto the floor. Legs are engaged. Slight tuck of the pelvis so the pubic bone is down into your mat. You're going to inhale, lift your head and chest, and then lift your thumbs off the mat. Arms and hands off the mat. Lower the hands down. Lower the chest and nose to the mat. Head and chest lift. Keep the chin tucked in, back the neck long. Thumbs, arms off the mat, reaching up to the ceiling. Hands down. Head head and chest down. Head and chest lift. Arms lift. Arms down. Head and chest down. A few more just like that. Head and chest. Arms. Arms down. Head and chest down. Head and chest lift. Tuck the tailbone. Arms. Head and chest. Arms down. Head and chest down. 2 more. Head and chest lift. Arms lift. Hands down. Head and chest down. Last one. Head and chest lift. Arms lift. Arms down. Head and chest down. Bring hand on top of hand, forehead down in front of you. Nice, so from here, staying on your belly, staying with the hand on top of hand, forehead down, we're simply going to kick the legs almost like we're doing swimming. So we're going to lift the right leg off the mat, foot pointed, leg long. Make sure the opposite hip isn't rolling, you're not rolling from one side to the other, and then you're going to switch left leg up, right leg down. Pausing for a moment. Feeling the glute engage, the hamstring, and then switch again. Right leg up, left leg down, and switch, and switch. So this is hip extension, the hip extension that we're going to need in our wheel, and switch, switching 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax. Both legs down, let the heels swap open. Take a few breaths. Nice, and from here, coming onto your back, laying down on your back. Take a moment, hug the knees into your chest, give yourself a little hug, a little rock side to side. So now we're going to get into our bridge, which is kind of our prep before we do wheel. And again, if you don't feel comfortable doing wheel, when you get to the actual wheel part, feel free to go straight into your Shavasana from there or continue to do a bridge pose. Really make it for you. So from here, bend the knees, plant the feet about hip distance apart. Heels, you want the heels under the knees, so heels pretty close in towards the sit bones. And you're going to press down through the feet, tuck the tailbone, and from there lift the hips up towards the ceiling. So the tailbone's tucked, so you're thinking of lengthening in the front of the hips, lengthening the lower back. And let's not walk the shoulders underneath today. Keep the shoulders flat and just press the hips up. Notice the inner thighs gently squeezing the legs together so the knees aren't splaying open, but they're pointing straight ahead. Nice, and then slowly lower, roll down vertebrae by vertebrae, tuck the pelvis. The tailbone is the last thing to touch the mat. We do that one more time. Tuck the pelvis, feel that tuck. With the tuck, then lift the hips up towards the ceiling. Press down through the big toe, little toe, heel of both feet. Feel the engagement of the hamstrings, the glutes, inner thighs. Nice, and roll down. Nice, we're going to do one each side, one-legged, so reach the right leg up, press down through the left leg. Again, find the tuck. Then think of reaching that right heel up to the ceiling as you lift the hips up off the mat. So now you're really feeling those muscles engage on the bottom of that left leg. 3, two, and roll down. Other side, right foot plants, left leg up. Tuck the pelvis. Imagine the left heel is pulling you up to the ceiling. Feel those muscles engage. Those are the muscles that we want to be working in our wheel pose. And lower down. Take a moment here. Let's bring soles of the feet together, knees open. So next we'll be going into our wheel pose. And again, feel free to repeat a bridge pose if you'd rather do that, if you don't feel comfortable, or if you know that your overhead pressing isn't super strong. But feel free to try it out and see. Maybe you're stronger than you think. So I'm going to use these blocks under my feet. Having the feet a little bit elevated gives you a little more space in your bridge pose if your spine isn't super bendy. I have blocks here, so I'm going to use that. But if you had like a few books or a little platform, you can do that. So for our wheel pose, I'm going to allow my feet to be a little bit wider than my hips. Yeah, and if the toes open up a little bit, that's not a big deal either. We don't want them like completely open and splayed, but if they're a little bit open, that's fine. Nice, so if you have something under your feet, make sure it's really comfortable and you're not going to be slipping and sliding. Bring the hands next to your ears, fingertips pointing back towards your shoulders, hands shoulder distance apart. And we're going to hug the elbows, so the elbows are pointing up to the ceiling. Yeah? So this is where we had that external rotation and hugging the arms in towards the ears. And then from here, you're going to tuck the pelvis. Think of lifting the pelvis first, pressing down through the hands, and we're going to lift up onto the head. So press up, lift up onto the head. Keep pressing through the hands so you're not dumping all your weight into your head. Readjust the hands if you need to. Inhale, exhale, press all the way up. Think of reaching your chest forward between your hands and looking forward. Don't worry about looking at your thumbs. Keep the neck nice and easy. Pressing down through the feet, taking a breath. And then reversing, coming down, soft, onto the head, rolling down, pelvis down. So, taking a breath here. So noticing where were the sticky parts. So for me, pressing up was a little bit sticky. And I think it's because I was thinking of pressing straight up, my chest going straight up. And I think what we have to do is think of pressing the chest more back towards the back edge of your mat. So if you'd like to try again, I'm going to try this time with my feet flat on the ground. Bring the hands again on either side of your ears, elbows up to the ceiling, fingertips pointing straight back to the shoulders. Pressing down through the feet. Feet are under the hip, under the knees, sorry. Press the hips up, so coming into that bridge. Coming onto the head. And then pressing up, reaching the chest forward. And breathing here. 3, feeling the glutes, the hamstrings engage. 2, and lowering down. Rolling down. Let's bring the soles of the feet together. Let the knees open out. Just let the spine, the shoulders, the hips settle. let's let both knees drop to one side. So coming into a twist, let the arms open out to the side, looking in the opposite direction to the knees. And letting the knees come to the other side. Head looks the opposite direction to the knees. Just a nice, easy twist. Coming back into the breath. Bring yourself to center. If there's any last stretch or pose that you'd like to do before you settle into your Shavasana, feel free. Coming to your final resting position whenever you're ready. Letting the body settle into the mat, into the floor, and allowing the floor to be your full support. Allowing the breath to come back to a nice, soft, easy inhale and exhale. Slowing down the heart rate, the heartbeat. When you're ready, begin to bring some movement back into the hands, the feet, the fingers, the toes. Give yourself a big stretch and roll over to one side and come up to a nice, comfortable seat. And bring the hands to heart center, bow the head. Thank you for sharing your practice, your energy this morning. One love. Namaste. So, we just did a practice that kind of focused on the elements that I believe were helpful for me, at least in my wheel pose. So, I'm just curious if we have any questions for those of you who are still here. Any questions, not just questions, but how did it feel for you? Did you try the wheel pose at the end, or you weren't quite ready, or any of that stuff would be interesting to know, especially since I can't see you guys. It's kind of odd teaching this way for me. Did it change your experience of your wheel pose if you are familiar and accustomed doing wheel? Any of that stuff is cool to know. Yay. Great. Yeah, a lot of the time we think of Yeah, I feel like when we do it that way, well, that's another option. My shoulders get a little bit pinchy if I don't do some of the prep work. Like I get kind of pinching because I'm not quite ready to go back like that. And then I start to dump where there should be mobility in my shoulders. I start to dump into my lower back. So I find by opening up the shoulders, opening up the hips, opening up the thoracic spine, then the lower back can just do what it needs to do. It doesn't need to like go to its fullest, flexibility. Let me read some of these. Shoulders feel great. Tried, but I'm drained. Yeah. So I guess just building up general strength in all the areas so that by the end you still have some juice to to actually do the pose. I used a chair for wheel pose. Great. So that worked out for you. Good. And your lower back pain feels better. Great. That's really nice to hear. Yeah, I've been having shoulder and neck pain, so that really helped. Oh, good. I'm glad. Because sometimes I feel like these poses can aggravate those things if we have pains in our neck and our shoulders, if we're not properly prepared to do them. They can actually cause the pain. But I feel like if we're properly prepared, all the various parts, the shoulders, the spine, the hips, the legs, and so on, then that's not, well, can be, depending on the person. There's no rules here. Can help. So yeah, great. I'm so thankful for the feedback, because it's helpful for me to know what you guys are experiencing. So I have another class tomorrow morning on Zoom, so that would be, you'd have to go into my link to sign up for that. Yeah, breathing always helps. And from now on, I'll be just doing, on my Zoom classes, it'll just be on Saturdays for now. I'll be going back to teaching in person here in Tobago. So I'll try to keep you guys as informed as I can along the way as things kind of shift and change with all this COVID stuff. So thank you again for joining in, and I'll try to keep these IG classes going. I might have to switch the day though, but yeah, I'll keep you guys updated. So thanks again, namaste, and have a great Friday and weekend. Bye.